So the next award is near and dear to the hearts of many of us who knew and loved Joy Dryfoos. How many of you knew Joy? How many of you knew Joy Dryfoos? Yes. Some of us refer to Joy as the godmother of community schools, of the modern-day community schools movement. She was a fierce warrior in her writings around school health issues and creating ways to forge new partnerships when the nation wasn't talking about it. She did research that spanned across many states, Florida in the East and the West, and she was a stickler for demanding that we have a directory of community schools so people could do site visits. And you know, if she were here today, and something tells me that she still is, if she were here today, she would just be smiling. And she would say in her wry way, "It's about damn time." Wouldn't she? Irish, she would have said that. Yes, she would have. So this award, named after Joy Dryfoos, a tireless advocate for community schools, goes to an individual who's made significant contributions to the growth of the entire field of community schools. Jane Quinn, Children's Aid Society Vice President for Community Schools and Director of the National Center for Community Schools, is this year's choice. Jane has been a vocal leader. Okay, let me finish. I got to get through this because I'm going to cry. Come on up, come on up. Let me hold you while I say this. Jane has been a vocal leader for community schools. Under Jane's leadership, the National Center for Community Schools at the Children's Aid Society became a vital national organization dedicated to enhancing the capacity of community schools in local communities. Many local initiatives have the footprints of Jane and the Children's Aid Society, not only on their planning, but in their development and implementation. I can honestly say that without Jane, we would not have written the same script for community schools. And beyond that, I have to say that is a dear friend, a mentor, and someone close to my heart. It gives me no greater honor, no greater pleasure than to present this award.
Thanks, Lisa. Whoops, oh, sorry. Wow, beautiful, thank you, thank you. Thanks so much.
You want me to hold this for you?
I think that would be great,
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks. Thank you. Can you imagine how I feel? Nothing in the world could please me more than to receive an award named after my mentor and role model, Joy Dryfoos. I think many of us call Joy the godmother of this field, and she really was that, and of course, so much more. I don't know how many of you heard Joy when she would introduce herself. She would say, "I'm an activist masquerading as a researcher." And that was the truth. That really was the truth. And I understood it then, but I understand it even more deeply now. That Joy understood that the reason to do this work was social justice. That the reason to do this work was equity. She knew that back in 1994 when she wrote the book that influenced so much of our practice, the book called Full Service Schools. So it's very fitting that at this conference where we're discussing community schools as the engine for equity, that we're talking about Joy, and I know she is smiling on us. I want to say that I'm here standing on a lot of shoulders. Certainly Joy's shoulders, but also the shoulders of all of you, many people that I have learned from over the years. And particularly, I want to say I'm standing on the shoulders of the leaders of the Children's Aid Society and the practitioners at the Children's Aid Society who were doing this work 22 years ago, long before I had the privilege of joining the staff. And I'm standing on the shoulders of all the people at the National Center for Community Schools who have been doing this work much longer than the 14 years that I have been privileged to lead that organization. So it is with great humility and gratitude that I accept this award in Joy's memory and on behalf of a very strong team of colleagues at the Children's Aid Society, past and present, local and national, and I want them all to stand up and join me. Thank you. Thank you to the Coalition for this wonderful, beautiful award. Thanks a lot to all of you. Bye-bye.